Alright, I finished my last masterpiece. Time to move on to my next. Wait, it's been 8 months? German Super Mario 64 translation has been a highly requested video among other translation analysis videos ideas I've had, and I'm so sorry it's taken this long to get to it. That said, let's dive in. I'm looking strictly at the European version of the Nintendo 64 edition, but I might touch on the DS remake now and then. The DS names are significantly different, I think in almost every instance, and those differences deserve their own video. I've also brushed up on my German pronunciation for this one, but forgive me if it's not the best. Sorry, Grandpa. So, let's start with level names. Right off the bat, I've noticed every main level is an alliteration, which means every word starts with the same letter. In a few cases, this results in a complete deviation in meaning from the original Japanese or English, as you'll see in a second. Bob-omb Battlefield. I'm picturing the top of a mountain being loaded with bob-ombs with this one, as it is now Bob-omb's Bombs Mountain, or Bob-omb's Bombenberg. I'm taking a name for Womp. Vump. I was kind of surprised at how close it is, but what confuses me is Vuchtwall, or Impact Force Wall, seeing as the level is a fortress. That would be like naming Cool Mountain Penguin's Cabin. In the original Japanese, this level is called Pirate's Cove, and in English it was turned into Jolly Roger Bay. But prepare yourself for Piratenbucht Panic. Pirates Bay Panic. Alright, Germans, you've got some explaining to do. Who is Bob? Where is Bob? And why is Bob? In all seriousness, I get that this is here to alliterate with the word Bibberberg, which means Shiver Mountain. You've probably noticed that the German language has really long words for specific things. They're actually just compound words like English. But German grammar rules dictate that you remove any spaces between them, as they're kind of considered singular words. So you get wonderful words like Schmutzfangmatten-Service or Doormat Service. Broken down, this is Schmutz, which means dust, Fang, which means catching, Matten, which means mats, and Service. German does this to make other words that in English have their own words. Consequently, many German level names behave in this manner, and they also often alliterate. Let me demonstrate. Bombenberg is the combination of Bomben and Berg. Bibberberg is the combination of Bibbern and Berg. Vuchtwall is Vucht and Wall. And Schattenwald is Schatten and Wald put together. Onwards to Big Boo's Haunt. We often refer to this building in Big Boo's Haunt as a house, and in Japanese it's even a horror house, as in Teresa no Hora House. It's interesting to me that both Chinese and German have decided it's a castle, as in Big Boo's Burg. Also worth noting that Big Boo is English being used in German, and most likely for alliteration purposes. Here's a strange one for you. Hazy Maze Cave is now Grüne Giftgrotte, meaning green poison grotto. Bear with me here, but I think grottos look more like this, and not like a factory-style maze. The poison part makes sense, at least. Lava Laguna makes some sense, but usually lagoons are a bit more peaceful and, watery, without volcanoes. If you saw on Twitter, I was absolutely dumbfounded by Shifting Sandland. I asked countless people, nobody seeming to know what the hell a Vobevaba is. Not even Germans. Many said that it was a nonsense word. I can't really confirm this, but one German person told me that Vobevaba is a name for this guy, Pokey. But I just don't buy it. I referenced some German wikis and walkthroughs which all called them Pokies, like English. I looked and looked for the word Vobevaba on as many sites as possible, and the only thing that turns up is the level itself. but nothing specific about Pokies. I even went as far as to watch a German Let's Play of the Nintendo 64 version, and the player, Marcus, also calls them a Pokie. So I thought and thought about what this word could mean, if anything. Perhaps it's a nonsense word made to sound like a desert name. Well, the first part, Phoebe, sounds kind of like Gobi, which is a real desert. Then, the second part, Vaba, sounds related to a not often used word Vabern, which means to drift or waft. So if you put that in English, you'd get something kind of like drifting Gobi Desert. Which makes a little bit of sense, actually. This is, of course, a stretch, but even German people don't know what this word means. The conclusion I've drawn is the localizer just invented the word because it rhymed. But let's resume. Dire Docks is Wilde Wasserwurft, or Wild Water Dockyard. Nothing really too special, but... Oh, what have we here? Frostbite Frustration? What I'd give to have this be the English name. This level frustrated the hell out of me when I was little, and it still does during speedruns. On to Atlantis Aquaria? You know, this kind of makes sense. The area looks like a city deep underwater. Consider that the Japanese name for top of the town is top of the city, and in Chinese, it's top of the water city. Fliegenpilz Fiasco, though. I appreciate that this rhymes, but really? There's a bit more to this level than just the mushrooms. In fact, I'm pretty sure there's an entire mountain involved. Tiny Huge Island, or Gulliver Goomba, has an apt relation to Gulliver's Travels. You see, in the first half of the book, Gulliver shipwrecks and ends up a prisoner on an island of tiny people who are less than 6 inches tall. After escaping, 2 months later, he ends up on an island filled with giant creatures. Things like wasps, an eagle, and a farmer who is 72 feet tall. It makes me wonder if the developers were inspired by the novel to begin with. Anyone who speedruns 70 or 120 stars for this game will relate to this title, Tick-Tock Trauma. Bonking on invisible walls and falling all the way down is definitely traumatizing for sure. Also, I'm on to you, Kays. When I investigated this level name, the word Haserai has many meanings, of which frenzy was one of them. But so was rage, giving us Rainbow Rage. Many SM64 players can relate. That's it for the main courses. So, how do secret levels square up? Princess's Secret Slide and Secret Aquarium are virtually the same, as is Bowser in the Dark World and Bowser in the Fire Sea. Take a look at the cap stages though. Each stage is referred to as a Switch Palace. These cap stages were already a reference to the Switch Palaces found in Super Mario World, but in German the stage names now match. In Wing Mario Over the Rainbow, you'd better be careful because apparently there's a fireworks show going on. Funny to imagine Mario dodging between them. Lastly, Bowser in the Sky is a castle? Could have fooled me because I don't see one anywhere. Now that that's out of the way, it's time to pour through all of the star names. Buckle your seatbelts, kids. Bob on Battlefield. In German, every mission name is straightforward and in some ways almost spoils the challenge. Stars 1 through 4 aren't significantly different, but let's examine 5 and 6. English is incredibly vague for both. German, on the other hand, flat out spoils each of them. Fly through all the coin rings, and then free the chain jump. Womp's Fortress. As I went through each level, I noticed a pattern for every red coin star. Rather than translating the corresponding names, the localizer made them all Finde die 8 roten Münzen, or find the 8 red coins. Stars like Elevate for 8 red coins, or red coins on the ship afloat are all like this. Kind of disappointing. But hey, at least we have Wecke die Eule, Wake the Owl, and Zerstöre die Felswand, Destroy the Rock Face. This is actually an instance where the DS name is different and quite hilarious. Die Wand ist im Weg, or the wall is in the way. Jolly Roger Bay. Besides some bossy names, one thing that stuck out to me is Unagi the eel's name, Al Kano, which means eel Kano. Not too sure where Kano comes from, if anything. Maybe the full name comes from the Polish TV channel Alekino. Who knows? Don't forget to walk on the whirlpools also. Like Jesus, but cooler. Cool Mountain. Here again we have a star name that's different on N64 and the DS. On console, it's Find the Baby Penguin, and then on DS, Where is my baby? Oh, you poor mother. I also enjoy Build a Snowman over Snowman's Lost His Head, but this last one is just gold. Think of the wall kick! For heaven's sake, will you think of the wall kick? Big Boo's Haunt. Here's a subtle pattern for you guys. For every English star, the German adds a verb in front of it. So instead of Secret of the Haunted Books, you get Solve the Library Puzzle. And so on for stars 2, 5, and 6. Not only that, but they're all yelling at you. This has actually been the case for every star, not just this level. This also accounts for the main differences here. Hazy Maze Cave. Starting strong on star 1, don't forget to climb Nessie's back when you go for this star. Personally, I prefer the wall clip method. For star 3, instead of directly telling you to use the metal cap, the German text offers a more vague clue, probably one of the few vague ones in the entire translation. And our personal favorite, Watch for Rolling Rocks, remains fundamentally unchanged. Achte auf rollende Felsen in 0,5 Akressen. Lethal Lava Land. The bully stars 1 and 2 are as literal as possible. Throw them in the lava. The 8 red coin star is the same as the other levels as usual, and I'm sorry, what? Star 6 I think is poorly named because both stars in the volcano require you to, quote, gain height to grab them, and only this one relies on the elevator. Shifting Sandland. I was hoping for another Return to Star to Me vulture, but alas, all we get is Follow the Giant Vulture. On star 2, I'm not sure how we're meant to bring light to the pyramid considering this is the star that sits on top of it to begin with, shining atop the pyramid. Not much else to say about the other stars, so let's move on. Dire Docks. You may know that star 4, through the jet stream, shares a name with star 6 in Jolly Roger Bay. Well, in German, these two are quite different. In Jolly Roger Bay, it's Laufe durch den Strudel, or Walk through the Whirlpool, and in Dire Docks, it's Schwimme durch die Ringe, Swim through the rings. The manta ray is apparently just a fish, too. Snowman's Land. Play with Bad Bully, huh? In Super Mario 64 DS, this changes to Abhängen mit Bully, which means hang out with the bully, which is a bit closer to English. The rest of these aren't too different besides being more to the point. Wet Dry World. This localizer sure is patronizing. They're like, look kid, you see these blue arrows? Ride these suckers and open that box. And yet in the same level are ridiculously vague. What does Mind the Time Limit refer to? What time limit? Tall Mountain. As mentioned earlier, the primary difference here is that a verb has been placed in front of every star name and then turned into a command. Not much else. Tiny Huge Island. First, we learn the name for piranha plants, Schnapp piranha. And no, it's not related to the alcohol schnapps. Then, there's the Koopa rematch, where you can see just how exhausted Mario is at racing this giant turtle. Tick-tock clock. I'm getting a huge mistranslation vibe from this one. It's just roll the cage. No preposition, nothing. And what's going on with star 3? let them point the way? Or star 4, stomp mightily? Sorry. Rainbow Ride. Overcome the power of the triangles. I honestly, I just have no words for this one. Let's cover now some enemy names. We won't get through all of them, but I'll talk about the most popular ones. These are listed in alphabetical order. That's it for the German translation of Super Mario 64. If you like this video, please be sure to subscribe for more content like this, as well as speedrunning shenanigans and gaming-related memes. Thank you for watching.